Hey, this is Tracy Lewis with Stuff and Things with a bonus 2021 episode. I am creating calendars. This actually is a design that I altered from the North Carolina quarterly meeting that was held in the fall. And I customized it because I don't have 12 by 12 paper. So I adjusted it down to fit on 11-inch paper. So it's actually 5.5 by 5.5 is what it ultimately is. And you score in the middle, and then you flip it and you score half on one side, half on the other. And then you take your 4 folds, and the middle fold gets glued together using tear and tape or glue. And you need 3 of them to make the 6 pieces that you see here. And then it all flattens down, and I found envelopes at Joann's that were, these are 6 1/8 by 6 1/8 when they are full. And the cost for this weighs 1.9 ounces, and the cost is $1.28. So that is going, if in my case I'm sending from Florida to Washington State, so I think that would be the most expensive that this costs. I created my own calendar. I was not happy with what I found online to just as a printable. So I'm going to go ahead and PDF that, and I will put it up as well as the instructions. I will make it a downloadable on my blog that's linked to the blog article. And it will again have the instructions on the cutting and the assembly, as well as the sheet of calendar that you will, I'll have some instructions on there depending on what size. If you want to use the 12 by 12, that's the calendar can be a little bit bigger, but this calendar has been shifted a little bit narrower to fit nicely on the 2.5 by 2.5. Let me I don't know if I have my tape measure handy. So the pattern, you can see I'm using Pattern Play. This is a very large paper pack that it's like quadruple the normal amount of paper, so I'm able to get quite a few sets out of it. And I'm going to walk through the calendar so you can see each page and see the different color tones that I picked. I have since adjusted March because March is St. Patrick's Day. I actually flip-flopped these and made this one in March. I made it shaded spruce for St. Patty's Day. And here's May and June. And you can just pick whatever color patterns will work. I chose to sponge the edges on everything to give it a nice, softer look. And I'm on this one right here, which made me think, oh, I should probably video that. This, I would like to have some slightly different color tones, so I am going to color that with you guys. I am using the shading brushes, and I've picked some colors. I'm going to start with the lightest color. I'm gonna grab one more out of the brights. So I do have all of my color bins. I have 2 of them. They are very beat up and well worn. And I guess it is right here. Daffodil Delight is the one I want to start with, so that I have some brighter undertones. And then I do have Granny Apple Green out here. I want to get a little bit of green, so we'll see how I can do at making this fall. There's only 2 of them that I feel I need to color, and that happens to be October with the fall leaves, and then November I did brown So let's finish November and December. You'll see that this is white, and I ombre'd starting with old or early espresso, and then just soft suede, and then getting lighter and lighter. And I edged the November calendar with early espresso. So I might speed this up as I go. What I do is I use a Teflon sheet. You can use the silicone mat. The Stampin' Up! Silicone mat works really well, and you can either use reinkers. I'm just too lazy to go get my reinkers out, and so I am using my spots. And I do have 2 of the 3 brushes. I gave my 3rd brush to my mom to play with. So I have one that is specified Daffodil Delight, that really, it was from a shoebox swap that I did, but I just use it for lighter colors. I've not applied water to, I need a piece of paper. I have not applied water to clean these. I'm just using the back of a Stampin' Up! Order. I want to get a good base of a lighter color this time, which I did not do last time. And I will tell you, let's say you package up a calendar and then you insert a card as well. That is going to jump it too thick, and when you make it thicker, it becomes what they call a package. It's no longer considered a first-class envelope, and that jumps, in my case, shipping from Florida to Washington State jumped the price to $4.75. And I had a couple of folks that I wanted to put some cards in addition to the calendar. So you can do that, and you can, it gets pretty fat, that envelope that you saw, and it will cost. The jump goes, you know, she did tell me that I could try the $1.28, but it's possible that the person receiving it would have to pay the difference, and I just decided, you know, this is for the holidays. I do not want my friend or customer to have to pay. So that's a nice good base. Now I'm going to come in and introduce the darker colors for fall. I'm even going to try to sneak in a little granny apple green here first. Before I go into the darkers. Because in the fall, the leaves do, as they're turning, there is some green left. Alright, so that is done. Now let's go with the darker. This and I'm going to do it kind of splotchy. I'm already liking this better than my first attempt last night. All right, and then I've got some more ink left. Go darker. I am going to sponge the edges. I'm going to add a little Cajun Craze, and then I'm also going to sponge with Cajun Craze using a dauber. right, so there are my leaves. And then the edging, I have and I don't have to worry about the black, I'm just going to worry about getting some of the Cajun Craze on the lighter leaf parts of the paper. And then I'm going to also, I think I'm going to use pumpkin pie. I guess this is a mix of pumpkin pie and Cajun Craze. All right, so October is done. And now I will be leaving these out because I'm going to put my rubber bands on them, and I'm going to grab the browns. Starting with the lighter color. So that's the lightest tone. The early espresso ready. And you need to be careful not to get ink on your calendar pages. I've smudged one or two, and it was small enough that I left it smudged. I figured that gives it the homemade look. All right, so that's good enough, and now I'm going to do two edge spongings. First I want this to have a really dark edge, so I'm just lightly running the ink pad. I would not do this with full-size pads. I think they would be too juicy and could make a big mess. but the spots do this really well. So it gets a nice crisp edge. And then I will come back with a dauber. Oops. So hopefully that will get covered when I dauber it. See, so that's good enough. I am happy with that. All right, so the last one to do is December. I will not do that now, but I want to show you how this all looks. I did very thin margins. Oops. And you can choose, I alternated high and low. You could add, if you wanted to have the ability to add like birthdays or special dates, you could add a lined piece of paper. I would recommend a cardstock. Maybe printing, if your printer can print cardstock, that would probably be best. That's what I print on, and I really like that I can have that heavier paper feel. So as I said, I will have dimensions in a guide with also a sheet of calendars that match exactly what you have seen here today. It will be for my adjusted version of the using 8.5 by 11 paper, and it will fit in the between a 6 1/8 and a 6.5 inch by 6.5 inch square envelope, which postage will cost more. And for this year, it is $1.28 if it is under 1/4 inch thick and fits through their jig. And the weight on mine is with 65-pound white is 1.9 ounces. And so it is over the 1 ounce, and I don't even know if you could get it light enough to fit under 1 ounce, so that it still would not be able to be a regular forever stamp because it is square. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them here on this video or over on my blog. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great new year, and thanks for watching.